So traveling in the subway has taken a new twist. Some deranged person could push you over, especially when train is coming, and next thing you know, you're dead, and the driver is traumatized, and this person disappears to be caught after a significant manhunt. And so, what should people do? Should everybody be standing against the wall? Well, many subways are so filled that the whole platform is more or less occupied. If there were five people, you could stand to the wall and resist if somebody's coming to get you out of there. But then if you're a small person, a big person that is heavier, twice your weight, could swing you out there anyway. You get shot, plus you get run over, whichever way you're dead. And so, isn't there a way that we could avoid this? It's going to cost some outlay. Now, what I've discovered, the subway is a very scientific and professional operation in which, especially here in Puerto Rico and even in San Francisco, or all the subway stations, as a matter of fact, they know there seems to be some electronic arrangement in which if it's two carriages or four, they stop at certain places and the doors open at prescribed places. Some places have a yellow line and then there's an opening and the door stops right here precisely. And I say, wow, that's nice. So then, could we sort of put a fence, as it were, a partition, lattice, metal, something strong up, and just leave the door open section, where the train will stop. The door will be there, and also that is going to be closed. So when the train comes, the train operator will press a switch, and the doors will open. Not only the doors on the train, but also the door to this fabricated barrier. And before it leaves and the doors are closing, in fact, the same mechanism that opens the train doors can open that door. Now, I know there's some science whiz, and they probably could figure the frequency and maybe create their own little opening and so forth, like how people develop techniques to change the street lights and create confusion. I mean, that was only when the emergency vehicles were coming through. But it's highly likely that these persons who have thrown people in front of the train could acquire that kind of technology. And so I think that's the solution. You can't go from the street into the subway and onto the tracks. They have this metal barrier, and their doors, which will open when the train comes and the driver of the train activates it. And when they're about to leave, those doors will close. So, bingo. This could be a probable solution. But on keeping with the same thing with mental illness, I said that when a person's mentally ill and evil, they're dangerous, even to themselves. And that's why God allowed the children of Israel to destroy the pagans and those other nations around because they were worshiping Satan. And they're so. I mean, look, the guy who was in the cemetery, the demonic guy. They would tie him up with chains, he'd be busted, he'd be cutting himself up, and he'd be threatening people, etc. So, it starts off exciting. People start with little magic, little Halloween, little voodoo, little this and that, and it's thrilling and it's exciting. But when they get trapped, as the song says, you could check with Santana with Hotel California. You could check with anytime you want, but you can't leave. You have this problem. And with the guy in the cemetery, he needed help. But every time he tried to vocalize it, the devil would speak and curse and carry on over speaking him. But Christ was able to read his mind and saw that he needed help and gave him that help. And so when people are mentally ill, they're more likely to follow into evil because they don't seem to be able to understand the danger they're getting into or the situation. Now, people who are evil, they might be born evil, their parents are evil, and so they're into that home and growing up with evil. Their mental capacity is tarnished and impeded so that they will just be evil and mentally ill, as it were. And so, God versus the devil. God wants us to have the best intellect out here. And another time I'm looking at the effects of drugs like heroin, cocaine, marijuana, and crack on the mind. the same effect could also be had if one doesn't use drugs but got involved in Satanism. I mean, when you look at the people in Haiti and other parts of the world where the evil is very popular, you find that they're going around in circles. They can't even fix those. They become a danger to themselves. They can't even help themselves. Because look, Haiti after this earthquake, I mean, nothing has been done, it seems. Things are in the war, the ducks to be going in, but the guys want a kickback. And if you're not giving them any kickback, in spite of the hell that is in there, you can't get in. So let me come back to this train thing, though. And so, we have to be very vigilant and try to see how we could erode the advancement of evil. Because, I mean, you don't want to see this. You have two paths of destroying the mind. You have evil and you have drugs. And they're all in the same sort of genre. But I think evil is a lot more, well, when a person drug, they're evil. But if they're going to evil straight up, like going into it, it might be a little more dangerous than if they happen to get into it through drugs. I don't know, man. But, to stay away from drugs and evil, it's so essential. And this lady, they're saying that she has mental illness and so on. It's normal. I mean, and then of course she maybe pursued other forms of evil, and then she becomes trapped now, and she now is becoming an agent, as it were. In the parlance of the 666, she would have it in her hand because she is executing evil. There are others who are masterminding evil. They have it in their minds. And sometimes they mastermind it and also they actualize it. So they may have it in the head and then in the forehead and on the hand. And so, we need to watch our children, go into their rooms, see what they're doing, spend some evening with them in the room, but they're smart enough. They won't do the evil when you're around. And they might hide the evil books or they can get off the internet. So it's a daunting task, but we just can't give up. We have to try to erode the advancement or stop the advancement and sort of reverse it, because you don't want to see if the whole nation is filled with crack addicts and also evil people. It is dangerous.